types of effort. The loud one, boasting every workout, every win, every small step. And then there's the quiet kind. No posts, no announcements, no one even knows what you're working on. But month after month, you change. Your body changes, your mindset changes, your life changes. That's silent discipline, and it's far more powerful than it looks. Silent discipline is one of the best skills to have, one of the best assets to gain. Silent discipline means you are working on yourself, by yourself, for yourself. Nobody needs to know the work you're doing. Nobody needs to know the results you're getting. Because, let's face it, a lot of us, when we start working on something and we start seeing results, we want everyone to praise us. We start hitting the gym and, maybe we get a nice little pump going and we start feeling ourselves. We want everyone to praise us and be like, wow, you're looking real good. Wow, you're looking strong. So on and so forth. However, with silent discipline, that is not the case. You work on something, whether it be, again, the gym, financial, relationship-wise, whatever it may be, but nobody is there to clap for you. Matter of fact, nobody even knows what you're doing. But that's the beauty of it. You have all the freedom to fail. You might be starting out in the gym, but you don't really know what you're doing. But that's one of the best things because you can just try so many different things when you're in the gym. This might work for you, but this might not. This might be the most optimal. However, you like this more and you get the same results. And again, with silent discipline, nobody knows the work you're doing. And you might be doing this for 2, 3, 4 years. All of a sudden, maybe you'll boast about it and people will be like, whoa, how did this guy get ripped? How did this guy get in such insane shape? And in order to build up your quiet discipline, you have to have good habits, quiet habits, habits that nobody, again, knows about. You might read a chapter a day, yet nobody knows. You might do day trading for, 5 hours a day. Nobody knows, but your bank account will show the results. These quiet habits will shape the loud results. And again, during the early part of that discipline, working, grinding stage, nobody will be there to praise you. Nobody will be there to be like, yes, keep going. Wow, good job. But on a long enough time frame, then they will see the results without you even doing anything to show it. One day, you might pick up the tab and it might be expensive. All you do is just flash the card and that's it. They might be like, whoa, where did you get all that money from? Don't worry about it. You might rock up to work one day, all of a sudden your shirt's feeling a little tight, your muscles are feeling pretty good, and then all of a sudden they're like, whoa, you're in really good shape. How'd you get in that good of a shape? Don't worry about it. But this kind of discipline begins when the initial motivation dies. Again, that transition from feeling motivated to being disciplined. A lot of people quit during that transition. A lot of people will start whatever they want to start, but when that motivation dies, when they start stagnating on the progress, when they start falling off, then that's when the discipline should kick in. But a lot of people will just drop off because the motivation isn't quite there. But if you can keep going past that phase, and the discipline will carry you years and years towards your goal, you look back on you nearly dropping off during that transition phase, you'll be like, like, wow, I'm so glad I stuck with it, because now I'm in great shape, I'm good financially, my relationship's doing well, so on and so forth. And in order to build this discipline, you have to keep small promises to yourself daily. You have to tell yourself, I am going to do this, and you will do it. You can't keep these promises and then break them. You can't be like, oh, I'm going to do this, but then you push it back to a later day. Or I'm going to do that, but then you don't even think about it. The small promises you make to yourself daily and keep to yourself are what will make you disciplined. You will learn to trust yourself and your word, and other people will see that. They'll be like, okay, he says what he's going to do, I will trust this person. And then you start to build that respect. But again, these small promises you keep to yourself, such as hitting the gym, eating well, just going outside, and if you keep them to yourself, if you take your word and you fulfill it, that builds confidence and trust in yourself, and then others will also see that and start trusting you. Now, with quiet discipline, it means training when nobody is watching. Doing what you want to do when nobody's watching, going for your goals when nobody is there for you. It is one of the most loneliest phases of life, and it can last for a very long time, at least in retrospect. However, training when nobody is watching is one of the most beautiful things, because when you've got no one there to push you, no one there to hype you up, it's all about yourself and your thoughts. And then you start to build positive self-talk. When you're about to fail an exercise, you go, no, I'm going to keep going, I'm going to keep ripping this out. And then you start motivating yourself. You start building that discipline right there and then. And then again, you do that on a long enough time frame, everyone will see the result without you really pushing yourself out there and showcasing them. Boring routines will build dangerous men. Doing the same thing every day, doing the good same things every day, are what will make you dangerous, what will make you better than everyone, a high value, high status man. Yes, it will be boring, and yes, it'll feel repetitive, it'll feel like you're not going anywhere, you're not doing anything. But just like I said throughout this entire video, guys, on a long enough time frame, you look back and you're like, wow, I'm glad I stuck with it, because now I can do this thing, I can do it better, I can do it quicker, I can do it more. And you've got to make sure you're doing the good things daily. Make them routine. Can't be the bad things. You can't be like, oh man, smoking is so boring. That's not good, right? Everyone knows it's not good. You're going to ruin your health in the long run. But on the flip side, if you pick something, let's say day trading, and you do that daily, yeah, you'll see some negative results, of course. But just like everything else, you also see some positive results. Again, on a long enough time frame, you will turn a profit. But it's all about doing the same thing daily. And yeah, again, it just will become boring. But it'll become so boring that it's just commonplace. You'll wake up and you'll just do it, and you'll be like, oh, this is nothing out of the ordinary to me. And I touched on it before, but this is the lonely phase before this success. Everyone goes through it. Every successful person that you hear about, every person that you aspire to be like, goes through the lonely phase, the phase where no one knows what they're doing, no one's there to cheer them on, and they don't really connect with other people. It is pretty sad. However, everyone goes through it. You might be recording a video for your YouTube channel, yet you don't tell anyone. And again, there might be a disconnect with people because you're so focused on what you're trying to achieve. Other people just don't get it. They might look at you like you're a weirdo, or you're trying too hard, or whatever it may be. However, you've got to keep going, because on the other side is the success. It is the goals that you're looking to achieve. And you might achieve that goal, but now you've got a new goal, a higher goal. And along the journey, all those people that you disconnect with, you will eventually kind of just flick them to the side, not in like a bad way, but you just won't vibe with them the same. You don't see things the way they see it. However, in return, you get new friends and new people, new groups that understand you more. They know what journey you're on, and you can connect with them more. But again, you have to align everything with the path you're on. And again, it's lonely, but then on a long enough time frame, everything just gets attracted, right? The goals, the people, everyone, it kind of just, your life revolves around it in a sense. In a good way though. It's not like you're going down this path of total isolation, but again, you'll start just seeing things. You know, your friends will start becoming people that understand what path you're on, so on and so forth, right? And then the last thing I want to say is repeating effort long after excitement fades. Again, very similar to when the motivation dies and the discipline begins. But you just got to make sure you're sticking with it every day long after that general buzz is gone. You might see something on the internet and be like, yes, I'm going to start this, I'm going to start hitting the gym, eating well. But when you do that for a month, maybe it'll become boring. You'll be like, man, I really miss eating some chips or some fast food. But hey, you gotta keep going. That's when the discipline kicks in. And then over time, you realize that the junk food really isn't that good, and you don't feel that well after eating it. So what's the point of eating it at all? And then, again, everything will just become commonplace. You'll just start eating healthy naturally. You'll see your physique getting better. You'll start feeling better, purely based off that one change. One last message for you guys is to keep going. Keep going on this path that you're on, quietly and consistently. Subscribe if this helped you stay on your path, and join the Patreon if you're serious about becoming someone. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you all did learn something and take something away from this one. And as always, catch